Hi guys, Elmer Meets everybody's MicheleMarieDalene. I bought the material for the walker. I'm at ABC Pizza right now. And gonna have a meatball grinder for lunch. You can see I got my hair retouched. So I wanted to talk about a couple different things I couldn't really cover this morning. Because I was kind of getting sidetracked. First of all, it is Lumi's 187th birthday. I mentioned that this morning. Yeah, you did. And and it was pretty cool to think about what 187 years, what the world has changed in 187 years. When you think about it, going from the era of horse and buggies to the steam engine to the railroad, from the railroad to electricity, from electricity to the telegraph and telephone, early radio in the 20s, to television, to digital computers, to all kinds of neat tech. We think about this today, but we don't really talk about it much because we kind of forget. A lot of today's generation has no idea how amazing this world is right now, technology-wise. Don't forget refrigeration. Refrigeration, absolutely. The power of refrigeration. You don't need ice to necessarily cool your drinks anymore. You can have refrigerators using mechanical refrigeration systems to do the job. Of course, let's keep one thing in mind. We live in an era, we have achieved so much in such a short time. And we tend to forget that. We're always saying oh, I can't live without electricity, or I can't live without a phone, or I can't live with... Well, the truth was, much of that stuff, take electricity. That was 140 years ago that Thomas Edison marketed the incandescent light bulb. 140 years ago, it was competing against the gas company for lighting for cities. Today, Consolidated Edison in New York makes electricity not just for heating cities or buildings in New York, but so many excess steam is also used for cogeneration of turbines to generate electricity. It's true that modern steam turbines go much faster than the old reciprocating steam engines of past, but what's important to remember is it was the steam engine invented by James Watt that made it possible to create the railroad, pump water and other fluids, power machinery like steam shovels and things like that, generate electricity. The steam engine, however, was not made in the 19th century, although it was certainly made, improvements were made on it in the 19th century. It was actually in the late 18th century, 1780s, the steam engine started showing up in industries, cotton mills, places which made the Industrial Revolution a possibility. Well, obviously, because steam was a technology that was known for getting things done, obviously early electric power plants used steam turbines or actually originally reciprocating engines, but then later they went to turbines as the technology improved. So think about where we are now. It's the 21st century. It's 2022. We have what used to be just for lighting, that is electricity, is now used to power our infrastructure, our cell phones, traffic signals, radio, TV, computers. All was launched off with the springboard of electricity. James Burke, in his Connection series, talks about this, how one technology could beget another technology, which basically was built on that technology. Let's see, here's an interesting twist. Did you know that originally coal gas was discovered quite by accident? Yes, coal gas. You see, they were looking for a better way to get pitch for ships. And so one of the guys was working with way to make synthetic tar from coal. And he put the coal into a sealed container, maybe added just a tiny bit of water, and as it would process through, the bituminous coal, which is a soft coal, would turn into a kind of a pitchy, tarry-like substance. But he also, one day, he needed to check his light, so he happened to walk around with a candle. Fortunately, he didn't blow his face off, but he certainly gave him a real surprise when he saw fire coming out of his kettle. It was that when he discovered coal gas. Coal gas was predominantly used in the cities after that because it made sense. Coal gas was cheap. Oh my God, this is a grinder. That's kind of cool. Oh, yeah. All right, do you want to see us opening this grinders? Oh, yes, please do. Imagine if I ordered a pizza. This is like a 16-inch grinder. Hope you're hungry because you're going to be eating a lot of it. Okay, so anyway, let me get back to seeing why this cools a bit more. The important thing I'm trying to say is every technology ever created has come from another technology, which came from another. Let me put a little bit of Parmesan on this. Why not? Yeah. Okay. So technology is the way to go. Okay? Now, the biggest problem with coal gas, of course, is the coal tar. But companies like BASF started to experiment with artificial coloring to take coal tar and turn it into synthetic colors. In fact, the Germans were the first to do that. They actually, the British, despite having a large amount of coal tar, weren't doing anything like that. No, they were creating a lot of energy. The coal tar is still waste padding. But the British chemists didn't really think of how to recycle coal tar, use it for anything, but the Germans did. Now, the first thing is, let's keep one thing in mind, if we may, about the the cell phone or with the chemical industry. It was actually kind of the beginning of modern chemistry. Why? Well, because it was the age of enlightenment. Science, technology was everything. Unfortunately, it was also a time when human beings started becoming, wondering if we had, just like Samuel Morse typed in the first telegraph conversation, what hath God wrought? Think about that. What was he talking about? He knew what he was typing, right? What hath God wrought? He meant was, and we put it in modern day parlance, what has God written? The first the telegraph was being sent hundreds of miles away. Then Hertz and then later Marconi and others created the radio telegraph, which was invaluable at the time of the original Titanic had sunk, to at least get help out to the ship. Because prior to that, if a ship sank, you were on your own. There was no nothing to save you from the reality that you're going to be entering into the cold, hostile waters of the Atlantic. So a telegraph was a big deal. Now, that's the thing, too, as I mentioned this morning, is with all this technology came another problem, and that was is that people started, especially, you see it now, during the last 2 years, the people were staying to themselves. Honey, there you were. People would be sitting, whole families would be sitting in a restaurant like this. Junior and the sister are on their cell phones, texting their friends. Parents are sitting on their phone watching their own videos. And sometimes the father would text the son, how are you doing? You're sitting right across from him. Do you really need to text him? Why don't you ask him, how are you doing? We live in an age where we don't really see each other anymore. Yeah, we don't. Despite the fact that the communications made the world smaller, the fact is we still don't see each other. We don't have to. We just come in, we take for granted everything that is available to us, all the communication systems. You gotta admit, that's something to think about. In fact, it's a surprise when you see people talk to each other in person. Just absolutely a surprise. Why is that? Why is it that despite all the technology, that the more the technology expands, the more and more separated we become? Okay. So what's the tab? Oh, 1260. Oh, okay. That's not bad. 1260. That's a big grinder, though. So, what would happen if one day all that technology disappeared? Would we still be trying to reach out, find ways to communicate with each other in person? Or would we still be trying to find some way to communicate from a distance? That's a great question. Unfortunately, I can't answer it. I really can't. Oh, you figure it out. So anyway, this morning we had a very good morning show. Despite the chaos, the noise, and the strange stuff that was going on. And so I'm looking forward to the doing things with my hands more and getting back to doing the hobbies and things I used to do. Today I have 2 different projects to do. The Walker project. Excuse me, the Walker project. I'm putting on a new keyboard. And once the keyboard's on, I still got to install Linux on that laptop, which shouldn't be too hard to do. I'm just going to grab the very newest copy of Debian. I think 320 gigabytes should be enough. Almost I can find a copy of originally from Windows 7 Home Edition, because the laptop has a license for that. Because I don't have a license for the Windows 10. I don't know if that built-in video card is going to be able to do a lot of fancy stuff. Okay. I think you could fire up Windows 10 on that. Yeah, but I don't have a license game. Which I know, you don't need that. Just if you want to. I'm sure we can get a product key for it. Well, so that's the interesting project, because but as far as I know, that computer only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know how much I'll be able to do on Windows with 8 gigabytes. Come on, let's be honest here. My Mac has 16 gigabytes of RAM. And the laptop, and the hard drive runs like a freaking straw. So 320 gigabytes SATA. We'll just put Linux on it. Install Debian. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think Debian would work out better. Because Debian will give more capacity to do more things with it. And you know what? And that's another thing that's amazing. Because we're using technology now to talk to people while I'm eating a grinder in a restaurant. And we're talking, this is a video. The fact is that people are watching me eat and grinder in a restaurant. and not in the studio. Please understand, early video cameras were monsters. They're huge. Again, there's micro miniaturization at work. So much, so many new technologies exist today. We forget that. We forget how much technology has changed our world. Now, I think that this Walker shelf is going to be stellar, fantastic. No, I don't think it's going to be fantastic. I think it's anything, as I said, it's proof of concept. Once we get this material shaped and the brackets made, more than likely the finished product will be either a replacement shelf made out of real wood, which is probably likely, or B, it's going to be the same shelf with some pretty heavy sealing to prevent it from soaking up water like a sponge and basically coming apart. But that's something we'll have to work on, okay? It's something we can do. It's not a problem. Yeah. So, I'm sorry that this morning show was a little bit crazy, but I think, did you have a good time? It was okay. I just wasn't sure that people really took seriously what we were trying to do. Well, don't worry, Luma. I can tell you there are people that do take seriously what we're trying to do. Because they know. They know. So, for the audience, I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you later on. Get some older work crept in. Work on the shelf project. Work on the laptop keyboard project. Record the segments. Get them ready to go. Because, we don't do anything on Sunday anyway, publicly. So, except for Silvermoon Radio, which I do want to get back to doing that. I want to get back to Silvermoon Radio again. Saturday is going to be a nice day to do our job, but work outside. Sunday's going to be a bit cooler, but not too bad. So we'll be able to do more things outside. But for now, let you guys go. Stay trouble. Have a nice day now. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.